I ran the Boston Marathon in 2013. It was really exciting. It was the biggest marathon that I had run, and the crowd support, I mean, everybody talks about running Boston, how great the crowd support is, even in the beginning miles, you know, the middle miles when usually it's pretty lonely out on a course, but the whole course was covered, and it was really, really exciting being there. Just couldn't believe that I was actually running the Boston Marathon. The buses meet at Boston Commons in waves, depending on when your wave starts. So I got up at 4 in the morning. I had laid my clothes out with my bib and everything the night before, got dressed, grabbed my banana, walked down to Boston Commons. I was staying really close to the race start and finish, and waited in line for the bus. Got to Athletes Village, where everybody's waiting for their wave to start, and met up with some friends there that were also running, and we just, you know, hung out, stretching, tying each other's shoes, and well wishes. The final turn was unlike any marathon I'd ever run. It was unbelievable. The crowds were so thick, you know, like 10, 15 people deep, even at the furthest away, screaming. It was like a tunnel. It was loud, and since I was injured, I was like, oh God. You know, I finally, you know, I'm almost there. I'm about to finish the Boston Marathon. It was really exciting, and I saw my husband and sister right before, you know, just a couple minutes before I finished, so that gave me my final little push. I was in the finish line chute about 200 to 300 feet away, facing the bombs when the bombs went off. I felt the ground move, and I heard it, and I saw smoke, and I mean, there's just so many people around, nobody knew what was happening. Some people just kept walking, like doing nothing, but I like took off running the other way, and I looked up in the sky. I immediately thought we're getting bombed or something, and then a few seconds later, the second bomb went off, and I started freaking out. I got out my phone to try and call my husband, and even by that time, all the phones were tied up, so I couldn't get a hold of him, and I thought that he was there. Just the loud explosion and screams, but there was still so much noise around me because there's thousands of people, so the thousands of people right here didn't see what was happening 200 feet away through crowds. So my perspective has changed since then. They're getting more bold. They're using more extreme and more people. It's not just the typical people that you would think of as being extreme terrorists. They're using college students, and I mean, both of those guys, the brothers, they were young. They didn't look like terrorists. It just makes me more aware and more concerned for the tricks that they're using and the propaganda out there. I think it's very important to talk to younger people, especially in the world that we live in, and with all the technology, how it's so easy to get a hold of children or younger people. I mean, communication is so easy. Making younger people aware that there will be people approach them, you know, so they aren't caught off guard and just, they already have, you know, in their mind what's right. They're already aware that they could be propositioned or invited to take place in something, and maybe, you know, like talking to your kids about drugs, you know, if you talk to them and let them know, then they're going to be more likely to stay away from it rather than just never addressing the issue. Being at the Boston Marathon last year was really amazing. I was pretty afraid to be there, especially that close to the finish line, but I didn't want to let fear stop me. You know, I didn't want them to win. So I was talking with other runners, standing with strangers, crying tears of joy and laughing. You know, it was in a way a good closure. It gave me a good memory for being at the finish line.